My ghetto ass makeshift DIY tripod. Hey to whoever's watching this. Like I said, I wanted to make a Storytime channel, so I thought before I tried to expose any of my friends, I'd expose myself first about how much of a dumbass I am. I want to tell you about the time that I got myself lost in Washington, D.C. in the middle of the night by myself, all alone with no phone. So, to start out, subscribe down below and you'll get to see more of these stories. Let's begin. So first off, I love Chris Brown. Like, I said that in my last video, I have an unhealthy obsession with him. And I never seen him in tour, so I figured that I would buy a ticket. So I was at school at the time and the tickets were like $75. I was broke, I didn't have a job or anything, so this was my money from my savings account that I had to have my mom transfer over to my checking account so that I could pay for these tickets. Well, these tickets. One ticket because I went by myself. That's how obsessed I am. I went to a Chris Brown concert by myself. I bought the tickets and I guess I was feeling bougie or something, so it was Chris Brown, Trey Songz, and Tyga. They were all going on tour together. And Tyga was opening, and it was mainly like Trey Songz and Chris Brown's tour. It was like Between the Sheets tour or something. So they had meet and greets, but Chris Brown's meet and greet was like $200. So I love Tyga too. His was only like 99 bucks. That's another story in itself. But I bought that too, and I bought a ticket to the concert. So whatever, I'm at school, like going about my life for a couple weeks, and the concert comes up. And the day before that, I don't know for what reason, but I decided to black out for the first time ever at school, not at home, but I drank almost a whole bottle to myself, and we went out to the club, and the rest is history. That's a story time in itself because that night was a disaster. I woke up in the morning after the first time blacking out at school, and I felt the concert was at 7. I was supposed to be there at 6 for the meet and greet. It was like 12. I just rolled out of bed. I had to take a shower. I had to try to eat something, and I had to throw up. So I got in the shower. I was in there for like probably 45 minutes, an hour, just letting the water hit me because I don't want to do anything when I'm hungover. Then I got back to my room and immediately grabbed my trash can and threw up. And then I was feeling a little better, so I decided to get dressed. I had to sit down a couple times because I was getting lightheaded. Then when I got dressed, I tried to eat like Pop-Tart or something. I think I ate like a bite of it. At this point it was like 2 something and the concert was at 7, so I had to leave. Because I didn't tell you this before, but the concert was in Washington, D.C., and from my school, Washington, D.C. is 3 hours and 30 minutes away. So I drove 3 hours and 30 minutes to go see Chris Brown by myself. I was walking to the elevator to go down to my car, and as soon as I was waiting for the elevator and I clicked the button, I was like,
oh shit, I have to fucking throw up again.
So I ran all the way back to my dorm, opened the door, grabbed the trash can again, and threw up. At that point, I was like, I don't really think that I'm feeling too hot. So I was like, I need to get water or something. Like, I can't drive 3 hours like this. So there's a McDonald's, which, you know, I also have an obsession with, like right outside of our dorms. So I drove there through the drive-thru and I got like a double cheeseburger and like a huge McDonald's cup of water. I was taking slow sips, like I couldn't chug the whole thing or else my stomach would get upset. So I was on the road, headed out. They like emailed me prior to this, and I had to be at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. at 6 o'clock so that somebody could come get me and I could go back and meet Tyga. The whole ride there, the whole 3 hours is okay. Like, I'm still sipping the water, like I'm feeling better than I did before. And I get there and I have no clue how to get to this parking lot that I'm supposed to be in, so I just park in one random one by the Verizon Center and I'm walking in the front door. And I go to will call, which is what the email told me to do. So I go to will call and I'm like, hey, I got this email. I showed them my phone and they were like,
oh, okay, like we'll call around, like somebody should be down shortly.
So I said, okay. They just told me to wait in the lobby. So I waited right by will call. they made all these calls. More people were coming up to the will call, and nobody came. So I was standing there. It's now like 6:20 or something like that, and I go up again, and I'm like, is somebody gonna come down to get me? Like, I've been waiting. They were like,
oh yeah, like, we're calling, like, somebody's got you.
so I'm still standing there. Now I'm charging my phone, and I have a phone charger in the wall outlet because it was about to die because of the GPS to get from school to there killed my phone. So it's like 6:35 now, and I go up again, and they're like,
oh yeah, the meet and greet is around the corner through the back entrance of the building.
so I was like, okay, that's fine. So I go out the entrance, go to the back side of the building, and I walk in, and there's big signs for Trey Songz meet and greet. I'm like, I'm not meeting Trey Songz, I'm supposed to meet Tyga. So then I walk all the way back to the front of Will Call, say that that wasn't the right spot that I was supposed to be at, like, that wasn't Tyga, that was Trey Songz meet and greet, and they were like,
oh, I thought they were in the same place.
so anyway, I'm still standing there because they told me that they would call around and have somebody come to get me. I'm standing there. I didn't even realize the time, but now it's like 7:05. And I hear Tyga in the stadium performing whatever song he was doing, and I was like, okay, so he's on stage. I guess I'm not meeting him. So I was like, fuck this. So I went all the way to my seat. It was like nosebleeds because that's all I can afford because I'm broke. And I was sitting next to this mom. I don't know if she was a mom. She looked in her 40s, maybe her 50s. And she was vibing, so enjoying my time. So I take my phone and I start Snapchatting Tyga's performance because I wanted to put it on my story. Well, 2 songs in, my phone dies. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm not going to go out and charge it, like, at one of the outlets, like, in the stadium. Like, I want to see the show. So I sat there without my phone the whole entire show, and he performed all my favorite songs. Him and Trey Songz were, like, going back and forth for a little bit, and then Tyga came back out for AO. So it was a good concert overall. Like, I had a lot of fun, even though I was by myself. After the whole concert was over, I went back into where like the concession stuff was, like all around the Verizon Center, and there's like outlets all along the wall. So I plugged my phone in, and I was just waiting because like people were still walking around after the concert. And then like maybe 20 minutes later, the security was kicking people out. So I grabbed my phone. It was only at 10%, and then I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. Like, I guess I'm gonna have to go to McDonald's or something because I need to find like a public outlet, because at this point I didn't have a car charger to put my cord into in my car. So that was my first mistake. Then I go all the way to McDonald's from the Verizon Center and I put it in my GPS, and as soon as I pulled up to McDonald's, my GPS and my phone died. So I was like, fuck, okay, like I really need this outlet now. So I go inside McDonald's. I'm willing to pay for something, whatever. So I go around checking under all the tables and stuff. There is not one single outlet. And at this point I started to freak out because it was like 12 o'clock at night. I was in the middle of Washington, D.C. I don't even know what street I was on. Went to McDonald's to find this outlet. And I know that I should have asked the people behind the counter if they had an outlet behind there, but I was so stressed out and everything was going on in my head that I didn't even think to ask them. So I went in the bathroom even, and they had to like unlock it for me. I don't know, DC has to unlock bathrooms for some reason, but they had to unlock the bathroom for me. Checked in there, no outlet. So I didn't know what the hell to do. I went outside McDonald's, and it's like on this like street with like row homes and stuff. And I was looking outside because I know that I have outlets outside my house. I know it's not the same area, but I figured like maybe there would be an outlet somewhere. So I was walking up and down the street, and there was no fucking outlet. I'm freaking out at this point. My phone's dead. I have a GPS in my car, but I don't have the charger for it. My gas is on E because my gas is always on E. I drive it on E all the fucking time. And if anybody knows me, they know that that's what I do. So my car's almost out of gas and I don't know what the fuck to do. So I get inside my car and I am still like looking around. I don't want to move my car because I don't want to waste gas, because I don't even know where the closest gas station is. So I'm sitting outside McDonald's parking lot in my steering wheel, and I'm like, I get really stressed out when I don't know where I am. Like, I have like a mini panic attack. I'm like banging on my wheel, like beeping the horn. I'm like, and then I like am still searching around, and I was about to knock on people's doors at this point to like, please let me like charge my phone or something. And so I look over to my left, and I don't know how I missed it in the first place, but even if I did miss it, regardless, it was still close. There was this supermarket, I forget what it was called. I think it was called Safeway. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, like they have to be open, like it's probably all night. The sign was still lit up. So I got out of my car as fast as I could and ran across the street. And there were supposed to be like automatic doors that I could go through. And I went up to them and they didn't open. So I was like, shit. So I kind of pushed the door open and it opened. So I was like, oh, okay, like it must be open. Just the automatic doors weren't working. So I'm going through, walking to the cash registers because I know that's where they sell like little like car charger ports. So I'm like looking through the cash registers. I'm like walking by all these aisles, and there's people like stocking the shelves and everything, and they're kind of like staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing? So I finally get to the car chargers and I just pick one out because I have the cord. I just didn't have somewhere to charge my phone in the car. So I buy one of those little like lighter port things, and I turn around and somebody is running down the aisle, and I'm like, what the hell? And they're like,
oh, sir, like, we're closed, like, you need to leave.
Like, blah, 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 like, we're closed. I was like, okay, well, I need to buy this. And they were like,
oh, no, like, we're closed.
And I was like, I'm sorry, but, like, I need to buy this. I'm 3.5 hours away from where I'm supposed to be. I don't know where I am. My phone's dead. My car's on E. She's like,
oh, I'm sorry, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're closed, like, our cash registers are closed.
I was like, I will give you a 20 right now, and I'll leave. Like, you can keep the change. You don't even have to give me change. I was so desperate. I just wanted my fucking car charger. She was like,
I'm sorry, you can't leave the store without a receipt.
And I was like, okay, well, are you the manager, or can I talk to the manager? And she was like,
yeah, let me see if he's still here.
So she goes into this little office in the front of the Safeway store, and he comes out, and he's like,
how did you get in here?
And I was like, the doors were open, but I didn't tell him that I pushed it open. So he was like,
oh, like, I'm sorry, like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, we're closed. Like, I don't know how you got in. Like, the doors were supposed to be locked.
And I was like, yeah, okay, like, all that's good, but, like, I need to buy this car charger. Like, I need to go home. I have class tomorrow morning. I think the concert was on, like, a Sunday or something, and I had Monday classes at 10. He was like,
I don't really know how to go about this, like...
And I was like, I will leave you a 20. It was $12, I think. I was like, I just need this. Like, I'm so sorry, but, like, I don't know where I am. Like, I don't even have a GPS. So he was like,
okay, like, I guess I'll just have to open a new drawer.
And I kind of did feel bad that they had to, like, open a whole new drawer and, like, bring one out from the safe or the office or wherever they got it from for me. But, like, at this point, I didn't give a fuck about anything. I just needed to get home because I wasn't gonna sleep on the streets of DC in my car all night. So he brings out the drawer and he opens the cash register and stuff, and I get to pay for it. And I was like, thank you so much. I appreciate it, like, all this stuff. And he was like,
yeah, you're welcome. Like, can you just lock the door on your way out?
Like, what grocery store tells you to, like, lock their door on the way out? So I just walked out of the store, and there was no lock on the outside, so I just left it how it was. Finally, at this point, it's like 1 something, 1:30 probably. Everything's closed on the street that I'm at. And I get back in my car, and I have to wait like 15 minutes for my phone to turn on because it's been dead for so long. Hours. I'm sitting in my car, I wait for it to go on, and then finally, at 1:45 in the fucking morning, it turns on, and the closest gas station is like 2 miles down the road to the left. But I didn't know that because I didn't know where the hell I was. So I went to the gas station, and my car charger has stayed in my car ever since that day. I will never go anywhere without a car charger ever again. I even upgraded to the one where it has the attachment car charger, and then you can plug another car charger into it, like a cord. Yeah, I can charge 2 phones at once, so I'm hella equipped. So at this point, like, I'm driving, I'm literally falling asleep at the wheel, like, I'm so tired. I finally get back to my dorm at almost 5 in the morning. And yeah, you could probably already guess that I skipped class the next morning because I couldn't even get up. I didn't even wake up till like 12:30, I think, and I had a class at 10. So yeah, I used one of my skips for my classes because I was too lazy to get up after a concert that I shouldn't have gone to by myself and got myself lost for hours in the middle of Washington, D.C. And I knew I should have probably thought about these things beforehand, like I should probably have this to get home, like your GPS is gonna kill your phone, everything, but I was too focused on possibly meeting Tyga and seeing my favorite person ever in concert, which didn't even wind up meeting Tyga. Oh, by the way, I emailed the people like Live Nation or something, whoever was running like his meet and greet, and I was like, hi, I was at the lobby at 6 p.m. Like, nobody came down for me. I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding or something, but could I please get my money back? Like, I didn't even get to meet him. But they were so nice about it. They were like, I'm so sorry your experience wasn't what you expected. Somebody came down. I think they were lying about that or something because I was standing there for over an hour and nobody came down. I didn't even see anybody like looking for anybody. So I'm basically a dumbass, and overall I got my money back, so that was good. So really I only paid gas and $75 to get lost in DC for hours. So it didn't really break my bank too much, but basically I'm a dumbass and I should have thought about all this beforehand, but I didn't, and it made for a good story to tell all my friends and my family when I got back because they warned me that I shouldn't go to a concert alone in a city that I don't know anything about, but I did it anyway because of Chris Brown. So, lesson learned, don't go to a concert by yourself in the middle of a city that you're not familiar with. Bring a car charger. And don't be a puss and ask people for an outlet or whatever you need because then you're gonna wind up stranded. So thanks if you watched that. I don't know if it was too long or too short or if I needed to add more details, but let me know what you think down in the comments, and I should be making more story times soon because I want to tell so many. I want to tell the story about the first time I blacked out at school. I want to tell about the time I got caught stealing with my friend and a lot more. So I guess out of those two, tell me which one you want to hear next. Subscribe and like this video, do whatever you want. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you whenever I decide to make a next video.